Welcome back for another tutorial on the Fusion 360 set of videos. We're going to look at the steam engine upright machining at this point. We're going to need the cloud libraries, so we need to make sure that they are enabled. So we'll go up and click on your name, click on Preferences, click on Manufacture, and make sure that Enable Cloud Libraries is checked. Of course, this only works if you've been added to Mr. McGee's cloud libraries, so keep that in mind. So what we're going to do here is we're going to machine the bottom of this upright, and the first thing we need to do is create a point right here in the corner to make our origin later when we go into the manufacture workspace. That's where the machine is going to know where to start from and do everything correctly. So the easiest way to do that is going to be from the top and just picking up the 2 points and then finding the intersection of that. So what does that mean? Well, we're just going to draw a sketch on the top surface and we will do that. So we'll go make sure that we're in the upright, the radio button selected, that we're actually drawing in the upright workspace, create a new sketch, click the top surface there, and then we're going to zoom in on the corner. So there's a couple ways to do it. The first way is going to be hitting P for project and project those 2 points, and then what we can do is hit OK, and then we'll go up to create point, and we can just use the drawing aids here, snap to that point, drag it down so we get the dashed drawing aid line. Then we go over, snap to the other one, and get it to give us the drawing aid, and then right there it shows us the intersection, which is fine. That's one way to do it. The other way would be to just drop a point, and this is my preferred way, and then use horizontal vertical constraints to plop it in place by clicking on the 2 points. And looks good. That's all we need. So we're going to hit Finish Sketch and Home View, and now what we can do is just zoom in, double check, yep, that's where we want it to be. So let's move over to the manufacture workspace. So click Design, click Manufacture, and now we can start the next process. First thing we're going to need is a new setup. The setup is going to tell the machine what our stock looks like, where we're going to machine from, and all that good stuff. So click on Setup, and now what we need to do is change the stock. The stock is the material we're going to cut it from, and that's that huge brown box. Of course, it's a casting, so our stock is exactly what the casting is, which is very similar to the model, almost exactly the same, except for a little shrinkage because it's a casting. So what we'll do is we will turn the stock into what it needs to be by clicking on the Stock tab. We'll then change mode from relative size to solid model, or from solid, correction, and then click on the model. And now it recognizes that that's what it should be. If we just double check that we did actually select the body there, because sometimes it can glitch out and select everything, and then hit OK. And now we have the stock. If we hide our model, we'll see that the stock still remains. It's translucent, so you can see through it, and that's going to be our stock. So that's good. So the next thing we need to do is set up our world coordinate system, or origin. Right now we have the X, Y, and Z. It's over here in the middle and completely useless in that point. We need to move it over to the point that we created earlier, and we need to change the orientation. X and Y need to be flipped. So we're going to do that through the Setup menu, and we're going to move it over to this point right here. So to do that, we'll click on the Setup menu. Just click Setup, or right click and hit Edit. So now we're going to change the world coordinate system. We're going to change this from model orientation, and we're going to select Z and X-axis. And we left click on that. It's going to ask us to select the Z-axis first. We don't need to. It's already lined up just fine. Just keep it simple here. But we're going to click on the X-axis, and we're just going to click on the edge of the part. Now we can't select anything because the model is hidden. That's just stock. So we'll make it appear visible, and then we can just click on the edge there. And now we can see that the X and Y have flipped. However, X is pointing the wrong direction. So we need to just click on flip X-axis there, and that's good. But we need to move it to that point we created in the upper left corner, so which is right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to origin, and we're going to change that to selected point. It's going to click on and ask us to select the point. We'll zoom in, click there. Origin moves exactly where it needs to be, and now the machine knows exactly where we want to start it from. And with that, we can hit OK. And our setup is done. We can hit save, and we can move on to the next step. So our next step is going to be creating a toolpath. We're going to use the 2D contour to just follow the line or the edge of the part. So here we have our 2D contour toolpath found in our setup 2, or it could be setup 1 on yours, your setup folder anyway. So what we need to do is we need to select our tool, and then we need to select the edge we're going to machine. So a contour can follow any of these edges on our part. So we'll start by clicking on the tools that will bring in the feeds and speeds for our part. So we'll select a tool. We need to go to Cloud, Aluminum, and if this stuff isn't here, talk to your teacher because there's a problem. Aluminum, and we're going to select tool number 8, Shear Hog. And then we're going to hit select. So now what we can do is we can see that we got all our feed rates and stuff there from the default preset versus custom. So we'll just leave it at default preset. And we're going to save it, make sure flood coolant's on as well, and then we'll hit OK. And that'll just save it and get it ready for us in case we make a mistake. But we can't do that yet till we have a contour. So it's moved us into the geometry tab. So we're going to click on the contour we want to machine, which is going to be this one right here. So we click on it. But unfortunately, it selects the entire contour as a closed loop, and that's not any good to us. So to fix that, we're going to need to select just the one line. We do that by double-clicking on the line we want. So double-click, and we get this option here. So we're going to change it from a closed contour, and we're going to change it to an open contour, which is that option there. Click, left click, and then it shows us the one we want because we double clicked it, and then we'll just click on plus to accept it, and there we go. There's our contour, which is good. So let's hit OK to save our process so far, and we can simulate it and see what the cut looks like. So hit OK, and wait a minute, the cut is on the wrong side. That's the toolpath. That's where it's going to cut, wrong side of the line. Sometimes Fusion tries to be too smart for its own good, and we need to edit the toolpath to fix that. So right click, edit, go to geometry, and you might not have to do this, so skip this step if you don't need to. And you'll notice this red arrow here. Click it, flips over to the other side. That's all you got to do. Hit OK, and it moves to the other side. Like I said, Fusion sometimes tries to overthink stuff for you. So that's good. Let's hit simulate and watch the tool cut. But wait, it's not cutting anything. That's no good. So why is that? Well, it's because we selected that line, that edge on the top of the part, and that's the wrong height. So we'll fix that by editing it again. We'll go to heights, and we'll need to adjust these heights. So I like to change this one here to stock top. Retract height is also stock top. Feed height, stock top. For my top height though, I like to make, that should be the top of the model, just my preference. And so model top, and then bottom height is the selected contour. That's our problem. We want it to be the model bottom. So let's select model bottom. The rest of the numbers should be fine. Just leave them as they are. Hit OK. And there we go. We now have our toolpath is moved to the bottom. The gray area there is the model coming through the green stock because it's machined away. So let's turn that off. Let's hit simulate and let's watch this. Hit play. It swoops in, it cuts, and it swoops out. That looks pretty good. Except for one problem. As you can see, if we view it from the top, there's a little bit of a swoop there where it comes in. It's not fully cutting the model. So and that's because of the tapered sides. So we're going to correct for that. We're going to just start the cutter out farther. Just out here, kind of cut in air, cut it, and then end out there. So we'll edit our toolpath again. We're going to click on the Geometry tab, and where it says Genital Extension Distance, change that. Let's just give it a value of 0.5. That'll work. Hit OK, and it makes the toolpath longer. It starts cutting in the air, and it ends cutting in the air. Simulate it, and that looks really good now. We don't have any of those swoops. Okay. Close. Looking good. All is well. So now let's edit our toolpath one last time. The problem we have right now is it's doing a full cut depth, and we can't cut a full depth. So we need to do multiple depths. So we're going to click on multiple depths, and we're going to click on maximum roughing step down as 0.2. In the passes tab, hit OK, and now it sets it to do 5 step down. So it's going to cut 5 times at the maximum depth we allow. We'll hit simulate, hit play, and there we go. There's cut 1, cut 2, cut 3, cut 4, and cut 5. And that's it. It looks good. So we can hit close, we can hit save, and now you can go get your teacher to help you with the post-process setup.